What's going on, you guys? So today my video is going to be about how to buy a new build home. Some people might not think that this is a different process than buying just any regular home, but there's actually quite a few differences. So we're going to dive right into it and answer your questions. So make sure you subscribe and put down any comments or questions that you have, and let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing to think about is your representation. So it's very important. I bring this up all the time because I am a realtor. And when you end up just walking into a new home build, you're going to go and look at the models. The second that you walk in that door unrepresented, they are going to go ahead and take you in as their own client. But you need to keep in mind that they are working for the seller. They're representing the seller, and if you just walk in, you're going to be working under somebody that's working for somebody else's best interest. So it's really important for you to get a hold of an agent before you go in there and come in with business cards, or the agent is always best. That way you're represented from the very beginning. So there's a lot of things that they may not be telling you, and they may be trying to upgrade you and kind of just pushing you to get what the seller wants, the most upgrades and the most money for their house. So you want to be represented and make sure that all of your interests are taken care of, and that you're not being pressured into getting something that you don't really want when you walk in. So I think that's really important to make sure that you keep in mind. So call the agent first, and then they can always go down there and answer any questions and help explain anything further. So so the next thing is to not be fooled by the sales price that they put out on the sign. Sometimes they'll put it out there saying $349,000, and that's what you think you're going to be paying. This isn't always the case, okay? So you go into the office and you look at all the models, and every single one of those models are actually with all of the upgrades, or a majority of the upgrades that they want you to purchase. The point of that is so that they can show you how nice the house can look, and then they give you other options too, but they're usually at a lower cost because they want you to upgrade and have the nicest option. So these things include, structural, paint, carpet, trees, the countertops, fixtures, the sink that's in there. Sometimes even the sink is an upgrade. So there's a lot of things, even if it's a lot on the corner. The kitchen island is an upgrade. It just kind of depends. Pretty much everything that you see in there is going to be an upgrade, and that means additional cost out of your pocket. So when you buy a brand new home, there's a price that is set, and then that's what you go into contract paying, and then any of those additional upgrades that you choose does need to come out of pocket, and typically that's paid for before you get into contract or before you close. So another thing that's important to think about is lending. So most of these new home builds will have their own preferred lender, and there's nothing wrong with these lenders, but it is always nice to have an option to choose your lender and make sure that you feel comfortable with them. So you're not always, I don't want you to feel pressured when you go in there that you have to use that lender. You are definitely able to go and get, if you're pre-approved with another company, that is totally fine, and whoever you feel comfortable with, I would suggest to use. So something else to keep in mind is the resale on this home. So when you're going through looking at all the lots, so let me back up here. So when you go in and pick out the house that you want, first you're going to pick the lot. So they'll have like a little map showing you what is available and which ones are already taken. And when you pick these lots, they're going to try and sell you the premium lot. They like to call it a premium lot, but it's really just maybe a very small fraction smaller than the one next to it, just because of the way it had to be laid out. And the corner lot doesn't always mean that you're going to be getting more money when you resell. So this is something that they typically will point out as a huge benefit for you, but to be honest, when you are listing your home down the road, it really doesn't make any difference in the value when your premium lot that is only 0.01 bigger of an acre, that's not going to make any difference when you sell. They're going to compare what the houses in the neighborhood have sold for, and if you have the same upgrades that everybody else has, it's just going to sell for the same amount that everybody else has. So that's something else to keep in mind. It's really important because they're going to definitely try and push you on the premium lots, but they're really not that much different unless you're getting a major difference in view or something major different that you can see just by standing on the lot, but typically there's no difference. Again, this is why it's very important to be represented by somebody separate from the people that are selling the home to you. So once you do pick out a lot and you are sitting there with your representation, then you're going to get into a contract, and it's pretty much the same from that point forward. Again, you're not going to need to pay your agent. If you listen to my last video, you're not going to need to pay your agent as a buyer, but it is always good for them to sit there and go through the entire contract. I always like to sit down at the signing and make sure that if you have any questions, you can have those answered while you're signing the documents, because their contracts are about 4 or 5 times longer than a regular or a typical purchase contract. So it's really just because they're a new build and they want to make sure that everything is covered. So I hope this helped you guys out, and if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.